Plaintiff Elizabeth Branson says the defendant was married to her husband's brother, who went from having a promising career to a full-blown heroin addict. Elizabeth is suing because she claims the defendant stole money that was intended for her son. Defendant Dorothy Branson says Elizabeth is a great person, but she believes Elizabeth was a drug addict just like her husband. Dorothy feels the money Elizabeth is suing for belongs to her, and therefore she refuses to pay her.
Ma'am, you're suing your sister-in-law for $900 for stealing your money?
Yes, sir.
Start with you.
This is my sister-in-law. She was married to my husband's brother, who's now deceased. He was previously married to someone else, and he had a promising career. Somewhere along the line, he was the executive director over the Cabrini Greens project at one point, and he was doing phenomenally. He was driving a fancy car, living in a big home. This was back in about 1972, 73, something like that.
Okay, let's see.
Long time ago.
That's what's the family? On Good Times, they were there during those years. JJ and them, what is the family? Come on now. The Evans family, yeah, from Good Times. They were there those years. And the place did look nice. You had that one guy, the superintendent. He did a pretty good job. All right, so we credit it all to your brother-in-law. God bless. Go ahead.
At some point, he became addicted to heroin. And his first wife divorced him.
What years did he become addicted to heroin, you think?
Well, I live in Jersey, and he lived in Chicago. So we came back to visit him, and he was acting weird. And we found out he was addicted to heroin. So this was right after he started at the Cabrini Greens.
Yeah, okay.
As a matter of fact, he confided that's where someone had introduced him to it. So his first wife divorced him, and then I came back later, and then he had married Dorothy. We don't have a really close relationship because of the distance. One of the things that my brother-in-law, he always was trying to pulling scams and doing things because he didn't really want to work. Something happened in Chicago so bad that they had to leave Chicago, and he changed his name.
All right, what part of New Jersey you from?
I live in Montclair.
Isn't that near Newark?
It is.
Well, quit signifying about Chicago. Newark ain't that safe
I'm from
either.
Chicago. Wait. I'm from Chicago myself.
Signifying.
I grew up on the West Side. They called my nickname West Side Mickey.
There you go. Now we're talking. West Side Mickey.
West Side Mickey. I went to Mighty Marshall.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right.
That's how I got to New Jersey with my husband. But
all right.
Yeah, but that's basically.
Okay. What type of lady has she been, or when you would encounter her, would you all get along and everything was fine?
We got along. We we're not tight, but we got along.
No troubles up until this?
No troubles up until this.
Let me hear from you.
Yes, Liz is a great mother. She's a great sister-in-law.
Good.
I love her like a sister-in-law should, even though, like she said, we're not close because of the distance. We're not.
You want to give me any background other than she's a good sister-in-law and a good mother? That's good enough.
Like Liz, she has a background too. Everybody has a background.
She does, you say?
Yes, she does. And I believe that she was addicted, just like my husband.
West Side Mickey.
So, between that time, we went to stay with them for a little bit. And I don't know, I guess they would go off and come back, suspicious acting.
What years were these? 70s?
I can't
Early
believe
70s?
It's been so long. It's been so long.
You know I've been getting how your memory gone.
No, sir. I don't do drugs.
Just messing with you.
That's all right. Anyway.
But if it was the 70s, unfortunately, it was an epidemic then in the urban areas. Not so much in the suburbs where it is now, but there was an epidemic in the urban areas. They're bringing over the Vietnam soldiers who were mostly impoverished guys on the front lines where you can get the poppy plant, and they took them for the pain. And so they got addicted to heroin there. Then when they got home, they didn't have job opportunity and other things that veterans should have, like we see today. So sure enough, they were vulnerable to the drugs and the heroin. And an epidemic occurred in the urban areas because that's primarily where they were shipping it, because that's primarily where the most vulnerable people were. Then today, lo and behold, guess where 80% of your heroin comes from? Afghanistan. where the war is. I'll leave it alone. And the president, or the former president, Karzai, his brother, was known in the CIA states and believes as the biggest heroin dealer in Afghanistan. So just wanted to make that commentary. Perhaps if she and the others in the 70s that you might know of that were hooked on heroin, it's a large part because it was flooded. In New York, you'd see hundreds of people lined around one building waiting to cop some heroin. You'd see hundreds of them, and the police would just drive on by, keep driving. Ma'am, what's the money about?
I transfer money all the time in my son's account. I do it online. And she has the same last name as my son. So I was transferring $950 to my son on my phone. And normally when you send it, my son receives a text. He knew I was sending it. You receive a text that says, Elizabeth Branson put $950 in your account. So I sent the money. He said he didn't get it. And I know he needed it that night. And so it was under the name Branson. I said, I'm going to send it to you again because I know you need it. So I sent another $950. He says, Mom, I still didn't get the money. So then I go and get on the computer. And I look at the computer and I have Branson and I have son. So that's when I realized that I didn't know. I thought the Branson was my son's old account. Mm-hmm. So that was Friday. So Friday, I'm on the phone with the bank. And they said, well, we can't tell you anything about it. We have to investigate. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, I walked to the bank and they told me, well, the money is in an active account. And I said, well, my son's account is closed. He said, nope, it belongs to Dorothy Branson. I said, oh, that's my sister-in-law. I'll just call her and she'll just transfer the money back. Because I'm looking for my $1,900 over the whole weekend. And so I called her, I texted her, I called her and texted her. And I never heard anything from her. Okay. Finally, she responded and said, oh, I'm busy. I was busy. I wasn't trying to not respond to you. She said, I don't think she said I got the money, but I asked her, when am I going to get my money back? And she said she had spent most of it. She had put some in her escrow account and that she had some left. I said, well, what do you have left? And when am I going to get, when am I going to get it? And she said, well, she thought my husband had put the money in her account. My husband does not have her banking information. As I said, it says.
But she had given you 100 back? Is that why?
She gave me 1,000 back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am?
Yes, she did that.
So haven't you paid her beyond the 1,000?
Why?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm a good person.
Pardon me?
It took her 5 days to respond to me and say, hey, I've been looking for this money. Mm-hmm. I did this in good faith to send her $1,000 back. I actually told her that she wanted the whole 900 back. I didn't have that.
So you think it was yours?
Yes, technically it was mine. She put it in my account.
Where are you getting that from? That technical law?
Put it in my account.
Is that technical law?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's not. Okay. All right, thanks. Her money, she sent to you mistakenly. You acknowledged it, you paid her some back, and so therefore you owe her the rest because you knew it was a mistake after it happened. Even had you not known, all she had to do is prove it. Because if you get some money and you talk to the person and they haven't sent it, another person says, I sent it to you mistakenly, it's not your money. You weren't entitled to it. It wasn't a gift. It was a mistake. It's like when you find money, folks need to know, if someone finds some money in here, they have an obligation to say, anybody lose some money. You find jewelry somewhere, you have an obligation. Anybody lose it. Some judges suggest and believe that you should take it to the police station. Or if there's a lost and found in the building, you have to take it there. You can't just put it in your pocket and keep going. Somebody lost this and it's mine now. Nope. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you.